Hi, Linda.
I made it.
Hi. Oh, I didn't know your name was Peacemaker on YouTube.
Oh, this is the first time I'm using Zoom on my phone. So,
really? Okay.
So if I was in the waiting room, I didn't hear anything you were saying because I wanted to pause the video. I didn't want to.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Perfect. Okay. So what I was just saying is how to find is basically we're in the process of finding our core beliefs, right? And there is a process that I'm using, which is actually by a spiritual teacher called Teal Swan. So you guys, you've probably heard of her, but if you haven't, definitely check out her work because she's amazing. But she came up with this basically with this 2-step exercise to find your core belief of something. So to find out the real reason of why something is really triggering you. So it's not the actual situation, but it's what the situation represents for you, right? So Linda, you're on a hot seat today. Okay. So don't worry, you'll be fine.
Where was the rest of the team? Come on.
I know, everyone. It's okay. They're supporting us. They're supporting us in the wings. But okay, so can you think of a situation in like the very recent sort of past that you experienced that kind of annoyed you or made you feel sort of low or very negative, or any of those kind of negative experiences where you thought, I didn't like this experience?
Yeah, I mean, were you talking about something that would turn into deep shadow work or something that just irritated me?
It could be anything. It doesn't have to be a deep shadow work. It could be anything that irritated you or that you were like, oh, I hated this like today, you know? Anything like that.
Yeah. I could think of one recently.
Okay. Tell me, can you give me a brief description?
Oh, sure. Let's see. So I don't wear the mask. So that's just my personal belief after all my research. And I was at the store with my son, who also doesn't wear a mask, and both of us have asthma. So I told him, if anybody says anything, just be nice, just more bees with honey, just say medically exempt. And that's it. I said, don't try to argue with them about mandates and what it means and all that. So in the store, they're playing this announcement over the speaker where they usually play commercials. And they start playing this state mandate, everybody wear a mask kind of thing. And this woman comes walking around the aisle and she has a red mask on, and she points at it like to me. And I said, medically exempt. And she backed off and went, oh, okay. Well, a few minutes later, somebody must have reported us, because a few minutes later, a manager comes walking over with a bag of masks and he's trying to get us to wear it. And I said, medically exempt. And then as he's backing off, he's saying something like, yeah, I can make up anything too. Well, that really irked me. That really made me feel like, because I don't want to trigger other people. And so I had to question my whole state of being, because as I'm in there and I'm in my multidimensional state, I'm not making eye contact. I'm not doing anything to trigger anybody, and still aware that I could be. But what's upsetting is when it projected back at me, I guess I had a little bit of fear that somebody would approach me, or my son did. One of us did, because we had 2 people and nobody's ever said anything to me. But it was the way the guy was so judgmental to me. I had to reflect back and say, where am I being judgmental? Do you know what I mean? So that was just the most recent thing. There's other like deeper family and personal things that, you wonder everything, but that was the most recent that I had to look back and say, where am I being judgmental?
Exactly. No, this is perfect. This will do. Okay.
Good.
So what if you were to summarize it in just one sentence, what made you feel negative about the whole situation is that you were being judged, right? Fairly.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So why is that so bad if you're being judged unfairly? What does it mean to you?
Oh, being judged unfairly. Yeah, that good key word in there. Because if like, lifetimes and lifetimes of experience where we were judged unfairly, it's like a buildup of stuff that's a deep rooted program that is the onion layer, where we keep going down. It's like, you don't know me, or you don't know what I believe, or you don't know that I really love you and I care about you and I'm trying to help you. Like it feels like it's falling on deaf ears. So that's why being judged unfairly just didn't in the past sit well, as I'm trying to get deeper into that root cause, many lifetimes of experience, I think.
Yeah, so it's definitely, yeah, it definitely has a root, a deeper root there. Okay, so just to narrow it down to the most simple sort of phrase, it'll be, why is that so bad? And it's because, so you just said, because you're being, it's kind of like you're not being heard, right? You're not being
Yeah,
seen
like
properly, right? So that's why it's so bad, because, so this is why you reacted in the way that you did, because, or it made you feel negative because you felt like you were not seen, right? You felt like you were not heard or seen, like
yep.
anybody deserves to be, right? Okay, so okay, and why is that so bad? Why is it so bad if you're not seen or heard? Why is that so bad?
Because it's an old system program that used to tell me that my worth was based on what other people saw in me. You know, like they're not seeing truth. So if they're seeing something false, it's like, I want to correct that perception that you are labeling me a certain way that I'm not. But I didn't realize that I was providing mirrors for other people at that time. I had
Mm.
no idea. So like that was really getting down, getting down, getting down. There's still layers left. I'm sure I'm working on one.
I know you
About
definitely doing the advanced work to that, yeah. So you're taking it up a notch, but again, just to narrow down to like a simple phrase, why is that so bad? Is because you basically, are you saying in a way that they're seeing you as a liar kind of thing? You know, not to put words in your mouth, but
no, yeah, that would simplify it. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
It's
So
like
they,
not truth. Yeah.
you're not being believed, basically. You're not being, yeah. Okay, so that's why. So okay, so how, what does this mean to you when someone tells you they don't believe you when you just told them something? What does that mean to you personally? Like,
In a simple phrase, it means that my sovereignty, my personal sovereignty, has been violated. That's
mm,
what it means in a simple phrase.
okay, okay, your personal sovereignty has been violated. Why is that so bad?
Because I'm under the belief structure of personal freedom and sovereignty. And when somebody violates that, it's just like if somebody were to violate you on a physical level, you know, it's like a taking of something that doesn't belong. It's being stolen from. It's misleading. It's falsehood. You know, it's not where we're going. It may be where we came from, but it's not where we're going.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but if you were to put it in a simple phrase, how would you put that?
Hmm. Simple phrase. Simple phrase on why my personal sovereignty being violated is how that. Wait, what is it? How it makes me feel?
Yeah, how does it make you feel? What does it mean? Yeah, exactly. How does that make you feel? So if I right now, you know, if you were to put yourself back in that
Ah,
situation, how does it
gotcha.
feel? Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, so at the root of that, that would be angry,
It
right?
makes you feel angry. Okay, 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 but we can take it further. Okay, so you feel angry that you're being basically called a liar, that people are not believing what your personal sovereignty is expressing to them. So you're feeling angry. So why is that so bad? If you're feeling the anger, no, actually, what's beneath the anger? Because there's something beneath the anger. So what's, I'm trying to get, I'm trying to get to that layer.
Yeah, I'm trying to like express what that would be and feel like because I've worked through a lot of the anger. I've worked down and gotten into a lot of that. There's still layers, you know,
Because
that you're working. But the thing is,
hmm,
feeling it and feeling it fully, feeling that anger is really not so bad.
hmm.
And
Oh yeah.
that's the part you get to when you say, well, why would anger be bad? Like what's wrong with that? Nothing. It's a feeling and we're supposed to feel everything fully. So it's like a lesson in learning how to accept the anger. And
Exactly. Yes, yes, but also anger is a cover emotion for hopelessness, or for helplessness, or hopelessness, one of those two, or both. So anger, because anger, if you heard before, I was talking about, the scale, the frequency scale, and anger is actually is one step above fear and hopelessness. Like, I think hopelessness is the lowest that you can go in terms of the I think it's called the Hawkins scale of emotions, and hopelessness is the lowest that you can go, right? And then you have anger, because anger is actually an improvement state. When you're angry, you're actually, you have energy to actually do something about it. But when you're in a state of hopelessness or complete fear, you're frozen. You're not able to do anything because you don't believe you can do anything about it, right? So
wow, that's good. No, I didn't hear that part. I think I was in the waiting room during that time. That
yeah.
was really Really well explained. That's like root chakra work,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. So when you think about it, so basically so the whole situation, just to go back to the beginning, so you were basically, in a way, what made you feel angry is that you were being called a liar, even though you were expressing your personal sovereignty, which was not being taken in consideration. And that made you feel angry, which in turn was a cover-up promotion for hopelessness, because hopelessness, and again, I'm sure you can take those to your past life or to your childhood stuff, where you felt hopeless because you were not believed when you said something. So maybe now, if we take it back further, I'm sure you can relate to that, to some sort of a childhood trauma where you basically said something and your parents or whoever your caregivers didn't believe you, so you felt this complete hopelessness of, oh my god, I'm telling the truth but they don't believe me, so what do I do,
Story of my childhood. Yes.
See? Yeah. Yeah, I had the same. Yeah.
And Desi, that's interesting that you put it that way so quickly because, yeah, if you had to sum up the whole situation, it's literally a dude telling me about, you know, not telling me that he doesn't even know my medical condition, and it's all about a mask and the whole thing. It's hopeless because I feel like there's so many people everywhere I see. I rarely see anybody not wear a mask around here. And I feel like I'm alone with that, but I don't care anymore. But it's like I do see that. The hopeless part is that I can't help change their minds. That's the only thing I can do is work on a galactic or energetic level,
Yeah.
you know, compassion. That's all I can control.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes that does feel a little hopeless, but not when I'm with you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See this, I love this. But yeah, so did it make you see things in a different way? Like
Oh yeah.
yeah, I love
I love how you tied it all together too, because uh, when I
yeah.
first, one of the things I was working on was root chakra work. And Andrew appeared in one of my dreams before I fully committed to, being on and hosting and doing all that and just doing daily classes. And one of the places we were was in my root chakra and he was there with me. So, it was a pretty amazing dream. And it just absolutely, my dreams speak to me. That's where I get my truths, my inner self. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you tied that right back to the root chakra. Thank you. I already feel lighter.
Oh, I'm glad. But it's so simple and can be, and again, I'm like, this is not my process. I got this from Teal Swan. So everyone please check out her work. It's amazing. It helped me so much with kind of really rooting it down to the core issues of, why is this making me feel like this? Why is that making me feel like, and you can do that with anything. It can be literally as small as that, someone saying to you, no, you're wrong, or, something like that. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but again, it makes you realize where that problem or that root thing is coming from, the issue. And again, that's, in a way, that's kind of why you drew that experience into your reality. Why? Because it was sort of unhealed, or we still have all those aspects of us unhealed. Many of them are, because there's just so many of them. But that's such a easy way to just get down to the root issue and be like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that. So yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. You're
Yeah.
doing excellent, by the way. You're
Thank
nailing it.
you.
Yeah, you should go live more often.
Oh my god, I've actually wanted to do this one for a while, so I thought, you know what, today I'm actually going to do this. So but yeah, let's do one more. It's not going to be the same, it's actually different. So now that we have this belief, right? So the belief is, just to put it in a simple phrase, I feel hopeless when someone doesn't believe what I'm saying. Oh, right. I feel hopeless when I'm not being believed,
Right.
when my truth is being ignored, to put it simple, right? So this is your belief, right? This is your belief that you've carried with you throughout your childhood, since the first time this happened. Okay, so now we can change that belief, right? So because, okay, so just to explain it in from the way I perceive it, is we have these beliefs, right? And the best way to kind of visualize it is, say we have this table with 4 legs, right? And oh, Jerome wants to join. Okay, 1 second, Jerome. I'll just finish this. So we have the table, right? And we have 4 legs of the table. Each one of these legs represents a situation that backs up that belief, right? So for example, in your circumstances, it was a time, a time that you said something to your parents and they said, no, I don't believe you, you're lying, kind of thing, right? So that forms one leg. And then what happens with our lives is we go throughout our lives, now that we think we are not being believed, that we are liars, we look for that proof constantly, because we associate ourselves with, oh my God, I'm a liar. Okay, so now every time I see a liar or someone uh, um, being labeled a liar or someone who's not telling the truth, that means that that is me as well, right? So we start associating ourselves with that person and that person and that person because they're being called untruthful or whatever, anything like that, right? So each one of these situations represents another leg to the table, which supports that table and makes that belief stronger. So we're basically now at a point where we have this strong foundation that is built on all these situations that supported the belief that we are not believed when we're telling the truth, that, oh, that we are a liar, or this person, that person, right? So that's the core belief, which of course we know now that, I mean, we know it's not true because it's a situation that happened, which was just at the time of the situation. Okay, so now that we know that, how can we change this belief? So I'm just going to go for some points and we can do this really quickly. Okay, so the first way to change a belief is by, first of all, identifying your core belief, which we just did, right? So that's ticked. Then we examine the core belief and why we feel this way, again, which we already did. Then you determine if your belief is beneficial or detrimental. And then we make a list of each, we make a list of the, what made it detrimental. So for example, you can list, you know, I'm sure you can have, you already have the situations in your mind of what happened, or the situations that happened, and it backed up this belief that you're not being believed when you're telling your truth, right? So what we can do now is find alternative explanations to those, to the evidence that we've provided. Okay, so basically, think of one situation where this happened when you were young, when you were a child, when this first started happening. Think of one situation and explain it to me, and we'll basically break it down in a way that you now can see it from a different perspective, if that makes sense.
Wow. Okay. You want one. Oh boy. Okay. So the mind's going blank on one, but I know where you're going with this because it's like the neural pathways that keep reestablishing, like the legs on the table you spoke about.
Yeah,
And it's confirmation bias. So, I mean, I have to say, all of these incidences that have happened, they were reinforcing it to get me to the understanding, that understanding that I needed all of it to become who I am. I needed it all to see exactly what I stand for, because this is not what I stand for. This is not what I stand for every time that experience happened.
Yeah.
So to give you one example would be probably impossible right now because my mind's not even drawing on the details.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish it was. I'm still searching the data banks, but I know that that work has been done, and that it brought me to where I am right now so that I can know exactly who I am. And like I said, what I stand for. I stand for truth, and I always have, and I've spoken my truth, and I might have put some blankets on it at times or lowered it down, but I'm sort of working through and coming out of the throat chakra and up into the mind and connecting that with the heart system. So when I'm speaking my truth, I feel that in my body. I feel those responses, and I know if it lands on somebody else that they need to deal with it. That's not mine to deal with anymore if they don't like it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of that. I'm sorry, I'm ranting because I'm still searching my data banks to get.
No, I actually know that you've already done, because I know you've done a lot of self-healing and stuff, and I know you've already covered that. So let's just use, instead of using past examples, which I know actually Andrew's not gonna like very much, because he's always like, don't go in the past, don't go in the past. But let's just use this for example, right? This situation that happened in the store. So how can we flip it, right? So in the whole situation that happened, what can we use that is against the assumption we just made, that basically this person thought you were not telling the truth, right?
All right.
Okay.
So let's say that was the woman who first pointed at the mask, the first person. When she backed up and reacted like that, medical exemption, it planted a seed in her mind to think before she's so quick to judge. And as far as the manager goes, when he flat out just called a name, it's like, dude, you're going to be getting your karma back. At some point, someone's going to call you a liar. You're going to have to figure it out, because he's probably got something to say. And I also planted a seed with him, whether he knows it or not.
Yeah. Yes, true, very true. But I also want to add, let's look at this perspective as well, right? So, say the woman that pointed, that first did this, so she was probably thinking, I mean, I guess if I was in her shoes, I would be like, and I'm wearing a mask, I'll be like, oh, why is this person, why am I wearing a mask and this person isn't? But at the same time, I guess a part of me would be like, you know what? I actually don't really believe in this whole thing, and I'm jealous that this woman is
Yeah.
what do you say, brave
Brave enough
enough.
not to
Yes,
wear.
thank you. Yes, exactly,
Maybe.
brave enough not to
Yeah, yeah.
ask, because she obviously either doesn't believe in it, or whether she's medically exempt, doesn't matter, but she obviously thinks it's okay not to walk around without a mask, right? So
Good
a
point.
part of me is actually jealous that this woman is brave enough to actually do that, and I'm not brave enough.
Wow. Wow. Good perspective. I
Yeah.
like that. Fine.
So in a way, what you were doing was you were projecting a part of her that she has suppressed, which is the part of her that is brave,
Wow.
right?
You're right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's the way I try to see it, because I'm always like, everyone, that's one thing I've realized, everyone that I have a strong reaction to, whether positive or negative reaction, the only reason I have a reaction to them is because they're representing a part of me that I've suppressed, whether it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. But everyone represents, a part of us, and like we all know, right? So if we were to look at it from that perspective, then you can question that. You can be like, well, actually, the reason why she was so annoyed with me in the first place was because she's actually annoyed that she hasn't re-owned that aspect of her, which is the brave aspect, which is actually doesn't give a shit and is willing to not wear a mask when she doesn't feel like it, Yeah,
Right. Right.
but
That's
that's,
a great point. Yeah. That's you being the mirror,
yeah, exactly.
reflecting back. Yeah. Oh my God. That's great, Desi. I love it. I love you. I love you so much.
Thank you. But yeah, so this is basically, so if we think of the table, we've basically just taken off one leg from that table, which is that belief of basically this person was against me, right? Was doing something
Right.
against me, when actually they were doing something that was more for them than for me, if that makes sense, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so that's kind of how one of the ways in which we can deconstruct a core belief, and we can flip it around so that we can actually see it from a different perspective that is not so detrimental to us, but we see it from a more neutral standpoint. Does that make sense?
It does. Excellent. Oh my God. You're awesome. You're awesome.
Thank you.